What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. I'm coming live. I'm gonna wait about 10 seconds for people to get in, and I've seen a few videos, a few articles this week, and there's some really funny stuff going on. Let me just wait 5 seconds for people to enter, and I'll let you know. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so as everybody knows, Hillary Clinton's already blamed Russia. She's blamed the election. She's blamed everything under the sun, you know. She's blamed the people. She's blamed poor people. She's blamed this people. She's blamed that people. Recently, this week, she somehow added to that list of blaming people, and she blamed, believe it or not, the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, the organization that helped her cheat and rig Bernie Sanders out of an election. And that's a flawed system to begin with superdelegates who literally forcefully put her in office even though she's not the most popular candidate. So she blamed the DNC, and she blamed the DNC data. She even went as far as to say that the data was wrong, that they're bankrupt, that they have no money, that they've been left in shambles by Obama. What is wrong with this woman? I'm going to tell you multiple things, and it's so wrong that even her employees are freaking out and yelling at her because now they're getting the blame. So you have DNC data analysts and, you know, managers and whatnot. They're all on Twitter freaking out. Everybody who works for the Democratic National Committee who does the data. One of them even dropped the F word. He said, "Mother effer." He was like, what are you talking about? That's how mad these people are at Hillary Clinton, their own boss. Because she's blaming them now. She already blamed Russia. She blamed WikiLeaks. She blamed Putin. She blamed you. She blamed me. She blamed third-party voters. Now she's blaming the DNC and data. And I'm going to tell you why she is everything that they're blaming Donald Trump of. They're like, oh, he's an egotistical maniac. No. An egotistical maniac is rigging the election, having all of the media on your side, having literally like no flow of information, and still finding a way to blame your teammates. You've already blamed the rest of the world, and you're literally going to blame the DNC and the data. And this is why this kind of scares me. I'm not even going to say scared because I'm not scared. But there's something profoundly wrong with someone if they rig the entire elections. There's superdelegates. There's a whole system of the DNC who's making sure that you get in no matter what. The media's on your side. They won't tell the truth about Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump. And you're blaming data. She didn't do any sort of rallies. She did like 2 rallies, got yelled at, and went away back into the woods. She didn't do any press conferences. She didn't go to key states where people were losing jobs. She made literally no effort to talk to people. And here's what goes on in her head. It's not like, hey, maybe I should be a human being and talk to people and let them know you're going to have jobs. You're not going to lose health care. But no, she thinks the data's wrong. She thinks you guys are statistics. She thinks you're little numbers on a keyboard. And it couldn't be more obvious. It's like she didn't think, oh my God, the human beings in America don't like me. She's like, oh, the data must have been wrong because we had all the data and the data's poor and Russia's poor and you're poor and everybody's poor and I'd rather just destroy the whole world than tell the truth and be honest. That's the type of person she is, and it's kind of weirding me out that there's like hundreds of thousands of people on Twitter sharing her messages like she's Mother Teresa. When she's a woman who lost the election, she rigged the election, she uses the media to silence people, to persecute journalists, to literally try to shut up the flow of information, and that's what she has to say. She's now blaming the organization that rigged the election in her favor. She's blaming data analysts. Well, who else is she going to blame? She and her team of cronies would literally rather tear down America, destroy the entire globe, literally. I'm not talking metaphorically. I'm saying literally destroy the entire globe. Let terrorism run rampant in every single country and state. They'd rather do that, destabilize entire society, than tell the truth. That's what they'd rather do. They'd rather destabilize the entire world rather than just face the truth. How could you blame data analysts from the DNC? And even her own data analysts are saying, are you effing serious? We worked hard all year for you. We rigged the election for you. And now you had the nerve to blame me, a data analyst. Guess what, Hillary Clinton? Data is not all that's important. You have to connect with people. You can't, they're so used to you. That's how predictable and dumbed down and propagandaed and brainwashed people are. They're so used to just punching things into it on a computer and being able to predict everything. They're like, okay, data does run the world, whether you realize it or not. Data is the key basis to all the advertising, all the social media websites. They run the world not by feelings, not by connecting with people. They do it by numbers. That's how predictable and literally programmed people are. I say programmed because that's what television is. Television programming. It's not a program to watch. It's a program to program your minds, and they've been doing it for tens of years. That's why everybody's so dumbed down. But you have her freaking out because her program didn't work. She put her data in, and meanwhile Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, they're touring the country. They're connecting with people. They're talking to people. They're doing rallies. And she's sitting behind a desk being like, oh man, it's this data. I have some data for you. 100% of people, they like normal, real people that actually tell the truth. 100% of people want to hear something authentic. 100% of people want to hear something that's real, that's genuine, that's pure, that's like, hey, I believe that person, not, I'm going to lie 10,000 times. Let me lie. Let me blame my staff. Let me blame the American people. Let me blame Russia. Let me blame Europe. And then blame my data analyst because the data is not adding up. It's not adding up because you're not crunching the right numbers. You're not doing the right data. Here's the right data. And I'm saying this to help anybody involved, not to be mean or not to fight you. I'm an American. I'm a citizen of this world. I'm your friend. I'm your ally. I'm not your enemy. I'm telling you this because here's the data that you're missing. 100% of people want something genuine. 100% of people don't want to be lied to anymore. 100% of people don't want to be brainwashed and manipulated. 100% of people don't want a lesser of two evils. Like, oh, this is a bad guy, this is a bad guy. Which bad guy do you want to pick? 100% of people are sick and tired of that, and 100% of people are not going to vote for somebody like that ever again. You might get some votes. Maybe I'll say 100% of people won't vote one way or the other, but you're not going to win with that mentality. You're just not. You're going to tear down the DNC. You're tearing down your data analysts. You're tearing down your country. You're tearing down other countries. You're tearing down Europe. What won't you tear down instead of just facing reality? That's all it is. You got to look at some of these data analysts for the DNC on Twitter. It's hilarious. They're freaking out because they're like, are you serious? You're going to blame me now? You blame them, now it's coming back, it's the DNC. Comparing the DNC to the RNC, unbiasedly, I could really care less about either of them. No offense to anybody involved in either of them. But the RNC doesn't have superdelegates. So the RNC is based off votes. It's like who the people vote in from each state and country, they win. The DNC, which he's blaming, is the biggest part of American politics that's rigged. It's the most rigged by far the most rigged part of American politics because you have Democrat and Republican. The Republicans, it's who gets the most votes in each state. The Democratic side, there's 400 to 600, if not more, super delegates. So, you got to get 2,000 plus electoral votes, but we're boosting. You're going to have 400 to 600 more super delegates who don't vote anyway. So Bernie Sanders, say he won 65-35 in the state. So he was supposed to get 40 delegates, and Hillary Clinton is supposed to get 20 delegates. She would end up getting more delegates than he would in a state that he won because there's a bunch of delegates that don't listen to people. They don't represent people. They just vote in their corporate interests, which was Hillary Clinton. It was like she owned that part of the election. They're admitting Debbie Wasserman Schultz is on CNN literally telling you, not telling you that it's not rigged, telling you it is rigged. She said, oh yeah, the superdelegates, they're there to stop any grassroots activists. So anybody who we don't want to be in, like Bernie Sanders, they don't have a chance. That's what the DNC is about. It's the most rigged part of American politics. And she has the audacity to blame her own people. And like I've said for a while, because people are like, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? One, people always end up dead on that side. It's like, just to let everybody know, I'm not worried about anything happening. I have no enemies. Life is good. God bless. But I'm happy. I'm healthy. I don't take medication. My life is incredible. I love every single day. I'm not remotely suicidal or dangerous, so nothing's going to happen to me. And if it ever did, it wasn't me that did it. So just throwing that out there just in case. But anyway, on her side, everybody seems to wind up missing. It's like this guy, John Ash, who worked for the UN. They're like, oh, he killed himself. A barbell crushed his throat. Seth Rich, who everybody's talking about, who now the media is like, oh, you can't talk, you're not allowed to talk about that. That's not acceptable conversation. Sean Lucas, they're suing the DNC right now. There's a DNC lawsuit that's basically saying that the DNC rigged the election on top of it rigging the election, and the guy who processed the lawsuit is dead, Sean Lucas, and they said he died of like 4 different medications. This year, Branton Wisenhunt from Florida, federal prosecutor in the DNC's district, winds up dead with head force trauma into his head, and he's thrown in the ocean. These are the types of things that those people do. So if everybody asks me, why don't you say this, why don't you say that? One, I'm not trying to get Hillary Clinton thrown into a river or, dead. And like I've said multiple times, a lot of these cases, they can't prove them. I'm not trying to say they did it or they didn't do it, but I'm just saying there seems to be a coincidence, and the mainstream media seems to be a giant PR team that doesn't want people talking about it. But to get further, this is a ticking time bomb anyway. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to take Hillary Clinton down. I don't want to. Much love to you, Hillary Clinton, and much love to your family. God bless you all. It's all love. But if you don't change, if she doesn't change, she's going down anyway. I'm not taking her down. Journalists aren't taking her down. Poor people in middle America, or middle class people, or even wealthy people, who cares how much money you have, anywhere in the world, they're not taking her down. She's taking herself down, and it couldn't be more obvious. Now she's mad at the DNC. That's the only people that she has on her side, the media and the DNC and people that are brainwashed in America, Now she's blaming the DNC and her own data analysts. What do you think that's going to do? If you lose the election, so you already lost, now you blame America. Now you're blaming Russia. Now you're blaming your own team. It's a ticking time bomb. It's a self-exploding. It's a mountain that's crashing. And it's got nothing to do with me. I could not say a word about it, and it'll still happen, because that's the way reality works. Like, you can't operate on that level and just lie your whole life. Like, how you're gonna run into a dead end, especially with technology now. And she has the audacity to blame the DNC. I never thought I'd see the day. She blamed the DNC. She threw the DNC under the bus. She said, you guys are bankrupt, broke, the data doesn't work. You got to see the clip. She threw the DNC under the bus. I think everybody's starting to realize that she'll throw anyone under the bus. People that are progressive, they're like, I like Bernie Sanders, and Hillary Clinton's a closer fit to me than Donald Trump. No, it's not. Hillary Clinton is not a closer progressive fit. Hillary Clinton will throw you under the bus too. She'll call you alt-right. The second you don't agree with something she says, she'll call you racist, sexist, xenophobic, alt-right. She'll call you a neo-Nazi. She'll group you in with people you're not grouped in with and throw you under the bus. If she throws the DNC under the bus, the Democratic National Committee, she blames all of them. Donna Brazile, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the people that risked their life and their well-being to cheat for Hillary Clinton. They risked their whole careers to cheat for Hillary Clinton. And how does Hillary Clinton thank her for cheating for her? She says, it's your fault too. She's a madman. She's an absolute madman. And her own team is finally starting to figure out. And God hopes that Americans start to figure out, because the fact that she's this sensation among the resistance. You got Maxine Waters. She's a sensation among the resistance. She was just last year the most corrupt politician in the United States, and now all of a sudden, she's the leader. Casey Anthony could be in the resistance. She was actually at the Women's March. Casey Anthony, or one of the marches, not even lying. Casey F. and Anthony was at these marches, and I'm not trying to group everybody in with her, because that's what they do to the other side, but these people would literally run Casey Anthony as a candidate. They would say, well, Casey Anthony for 2020, that's what our data says. You know, our data tells you that you guys are all brainwashed. So our data says that Casey Anthony's pro-choice. She's a pro-choice candidate, as everybody knows. Casey Anthony, she's a woman. Okay, so if you say anything bad about Casey Anthony, she's a woman, so you're sexist. They'll run somebody like that because that's how dumb people are. They'll play you based on race, religion, and gender and find somebody that they could create an argument about. I just woke up and I saw data analysts cursing, literally saying, dropping F-bombs about Hillary Clinton. Her own team is now turning on her. I mean, who is she going to not throw under the bus? Does anybody have a list? Can we write out the list of people she blamed? Russia hacked the election. Russia hacked the utility grid. She thinks Russia is hacking the internet and journalists. She can't fathom. This is how maniacal she is. She can't even fathom that people don't like her. She can't even fathom that people might want to write a journalism piece that isn't in her favor. She can't fathom it. So instead of being like, oh, there's Americans who don't like me, in her twisted head, she says, these journalist sources are getting taken over by Russia. Do you know who she called Russian news sources? Her and the media that surrounds her? The FBI investigated InfoWars and Breitbart, but also the Young Turks, who's progressive and supported her. The Young Turks literally shilled for her for 7 months. And some news sources had the audacity to say that Young Turks were Kremlin-owned news organizations. They're coming for you next. Because they think all journalists are Russian. If you don't agree with them, you're Russian. If you don't agree with them, the data is wrong. Not me. It couldn't be me. It's the data. Someone messed up the data because the data of the American people is all jumped. No, it's not everybody. It's you. It's you. It's not the whole world. It's not Russia. It's not America. It's not people who didn't vote for you. It's not Jill Stein supporters. It's not Bernie Sanders supporters. It's not the big, bad, deplorable Trump supporters. It's you. It's not the DNC. It's not the people who rigged the election for you. It's you. Just say it. She's been lying for so long. She just doesn't get it. To the point where she's self-imploding her own team. You can't make this stuff up. She blamed the DNC and she blamed the data. Are you effing serious? Like, I hope her own team realizes, because you guys are next. You're literally under the bus now. What's gonna make her realize? I don't know. That's why when people say, Anomaly, why do you do this and that? I didn't vote for Donald Trump. Watching how things transpired, I wish I did. To be honest, I wish I did vote for him, because that's how bad the other side is. I voted for Jill Stein because I knew my vote didn't count, but I was hoping that Jill Stein got 5% of the vote so she could at least be in the debates. If she got 5% of the vote, she'd be in the debates. But nothing about what Hillary Clinton has done and the Democratic Party and the Democratic National Committee, nothing, not one thing that they've done has made me be like, oh yeah, you know what? I wish I voted for them. Oh yeah, I wish Trump didn't win. I wish they won. Nothing they have done has made me even remotely think that. And nothing they've done has made anybody think that, except for maybe their little group of brainwashed people who they pay to run around the country and, spread their propaganda. But those people are going to wake up too, because, how long are you going to hate yourself and live a lie? It can't be fun. It can't be fulfilling. Nothing about what they've done has made me, nothing about her being like, yeah, you know what, it's actually the DNC's fault. What about that would be like, oh yeah, man, I need to vote for her now, totally, yeah, I'm going Democratic Party next election because, wow, that's good. There's nothing there. It's like an empty, soulless vortex of just like pure dark energy. An empty, soulless vortex of pure dark energy. That's what it is. And that's why I don't even like to talk about it that much, because the energy coming from that side is so dark. I don't even want to be near it. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to be a victim of that dark energy. That's how dark it is. Trump's going to make mistakes, but he's not that dark. The media talks about, they tell you about how egotistical and maniacal Trump is, and Trump is definitely a confident, borderline cocky person, but they don't, have they ever once told you about how egotistical and maniacal Hillary Clinton is? No, because they don't want you to know. But that's changing because literally, she's blaming the data analysts, she's blaming the DNC, she's also blaming the media. So now all of these people who've worked their whole lives, put their lives on the line, literally get attacked every single day because most of America knows what's going on. They're getting blamed now too. They're like, I sacrificed my whole life to lie in your direction, and now you're blaming me. Who wants to work their whole lives for someone just to get blamed by that person? Who wants to do that? If you write a journalism piece that's not in favor of the DNC and Hillary Clinton, you're Russian. You're a bad person. You're deplorable. Does that sound like the United States of America? Does that sound like the country of freedom and justice? Or does that sound like 1960, 1950, 1940 Nazi Germany, where you're not allowed to talk, where you're not allowed to have an opinion, where you're not allowed to have a free thought that goes against the establishment? Because it doesn't sound like freedom if you're not allowed to say something and you're going to get accused of being Russian or un-American or whatever. That doesn't sound like my country, but thank God, and all gods, I don't care who your God is, thank that God, that Hillary Clinton is not in office, because just how she's acting over the past 9 months, you have data analysts, there's probably people that work for the DNC, data analysts watching this being like, man, he's totally right, what's going on, man, I worked my whole year. I worked so hard for this woman, and she just tossed me threw me right off the bus, under the bus, over the bus, into the bus. In the bus, she put you in the bus and then threw that bus off a mountain. She's like, here, come in this bus, and then that bus got Billy Madison. It just slid right off the mountain. You can't make this stuff up, and I'm not saying this because they're saying it. Go on Twitter, and you got all the data analysts freaking out at Hillary Clinton. They're like, this is what I worked all year for, to get blamed by you. She said, DNC, you guys have no data, you're broke, you got no money, you're bankrupt, I inherited trash. She said, you guys are trash. She's like, I'm here, big bad Hillary Clinton, I'm doing my thing, I'm crushing the game, everybody loves me, I'm set to win the nomination for sure, and I inherit this mess of a DNC and all of this bad data, and it destroys my whole campaign. What planet is this woman living on? One of the emails that leaked literally said that as well. It said, Hillary's something or other. I don't even think she's living on this planet. It's in the emails are creepy, but once again, don't read those because you're not allowed to. Only CNN can read them for you because you're not a real person. You're not allowed to read things and read news. If you read the wrong thing, you're Russian and you're dangerous. So you don't want to see the truth. But if you do want to see the truth, it's not pretty. And it's the reason a lot of people did not vote for her. And right now, please, I'm going to pray. Right now, on camera, I'm going to pray. Please, Hillary Clinton, leave America alone, please. I pray, just leave America alone. George Soros, Media Matters, leave America alone. Like Chris Crocker, leave Britney alone. Leave Britney alone. Leave America alone. You've done enough carnage. You've done enough damage. You've already, you're trying to start a civil war between people who it's not even their fault. You got people of this race blaming people of that race. You got people of this gender blaming people of that gender. You got the bottom and the middle of the pyramid fighting with the bottom and the middle of the pyramid. And you're sitting at the top of the pyramid just ruining everything, spreading misinformation, lies, blaming your own people, blaming your own organizations. I pray, Hillary Clinton, leave America alone, please. Or just live here and do your thing, be rich, be famous, be popular, but just stop. Just stop. If you just came out, Hillary Clinton, a word of advice real quick before I go. If you came out, Hillary Clinton, and told the truth, just said, hey, it was my fault, I need to get a little bit better, your life would immediately get better. Instead of fighting and killing all these people, fighting all these people, you wouldn't have to fight everybody. You wouldn't have to live in like this little thing where you're just fighting the whole world, you're fighting the whole universe, you're constantly just attacking your whole country and this and that, this. You won't have to do that. If you just tell the truth, if you just show genuine love and care for people, connect with people, really try to help people, you don't have to live this life of pure like war. You could live a life of pure peace. You could walk down the streets and people will be happy to see you. You could do rallies and people will actually come and they will be grateful. You don't have to live your whole life in a smoke and mirrors PR stunt. Because you deserve it, your family deserves it, we all deserve it. Life is good. Blaming DNC and the data analysts. It'll be interesting to see how Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Donna Brazile, and the Democratic National Committee, what they have to say about this, because they worked really, really hard to rig the election. And this is how they get thanked. They put their lives on the line. They put their freedom on the line to cheat for her. And that's how they get thanked. It's their fault now. It's the data and it's the DNC. You can't make this stuff up. Have a good rest of the week and God bless the world. That's it.